Good job, Fixie. So what we're going to talk about is Shatter. What is Shatter, you ask? Shatter. Alright. This is going to be the complete Shatter guide. Every single time anyone ever talks about Shatter, this is going to be what people link to. This is the ultimate Shatter discussion. So like, if you have anything to do right now, like, you know, talking to your family or whatever, like just scrap that. This is more important, because this is going to be the ultimate Shatter guide. So I want you guys to get ready for the ultimate Shatter build, right? We're going to start real quick, and we're going to go through everything you need to know. And then I'm going to go through a game, and I guess that's kind of it. That's all we need. So, bam, this is the build. Welcome to Shatter Mesmer. There are two types. The Shatter archetype is this. I'm going to go through that soon. Oh, I have this as well. I'll do it like this. So, something important about the Shatter archetype is there's two ways of running it. There's the more utility-based, man-based version of it that essentially gives you more chest hair, it gives you more muscles, basically gets you laid often. Then there's also the female way of playing Shatter Mesmer, popularized by Frostball, because he hasn't hit puberty yet. So, I say popularized, but it's only him running it. But I'll still give him the creds of showing that. And that's when you play Inspiration instead. And basically the logic behind this is, I'm man enough to play Shatter, but I'm not man enough to play a proper Shatter. So I get some Conic Lens and some other female things on my build. Very, very lame. The dual line gives you more utility and more damage and just more manliness. And that's the line I'm going to investigate. I'll give you guys the look into the Inspiration later. But let's take a look at the entirety of Shatter. So what is Shatter? When people say Shatter Mesmer, they always talk about the Shatter. Because Shatter is Shatter, make Shatter. This is an example of Shatter, right? You just Shatter. The entire playstyle based on Shatter is that you get clones up, dodging because you use Deceptive Evasion, or by not dodging at all because you're a female playing Frostball spec. You know what? We're not even going to talk about Frostball spec because it's terrible. So we're playing, you spawn up clones, and then you use Mind Wreck as your primary damage source, or well, as a spike. It's not going to be very much damage overall in game. Let's say you do, let's say 50k roughly with Mind Wreck per game. If you get a really good Mind Wreck game, like you're probably going to do way less than that. The good thing about Shatter Mesmer, it's not its actual damage. In fact, if you look at Shatter Mesmer's damage in games, it has around, let's say, in a good Shatter Mesmer game, let's say 300k damage, 350, something like that. The problem with that is that Scrappers do 1,000,000 damage. Hey, Bunker Mesmers tend to do more damage than 350k, you know? And so the damage is not why you take Scrapper. Like, it's not a lot of damage over time. However, it is a huge source of burst, meaning that you have a lot of mobility and stealth in this build, and you utilize the burst potential of this build. And if you ever get a matchup you're not satisfied with, you simply disengage it, and you go elsewhere, and you do the burst again. The whole idea behind this is basically the Thief gameplay, that you +1 fights, you only take 2v2s you're actually comfortable with. Where the Shadow Mesmer has advantage over Thief is that, one, Shadow Mesmer has far better burst. Like, well, in terms of raw damage, Thief might even have more, but like, if a properly set up Shadow Mesmer burst can basically 100-0 things, especially if you're playing Gravity Well. Even if you're not playing Gravity Well, say MOA, then obviously, like, when you have a MOA properly set up and all that stuff, it basically guarantees a kill. So, everyone talk about triangles. Shut up, stream. I'm focusing. Anyone that says anything about triangles should get timed out, because now this is a serious discussion. So basically, that is how Shadow Mesmer is played. Essentially, you go to fights where you can outnumber them and you pwn them, right? And if we look at the traits, now you know the playstyle, let's look at the traits, right? So, looking at the traits, you have the domination lines of, you have the stun on daze, obviously helping you set up bursts, boom, 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 boom. You have Shatter removes boon, mainly because like it helps setting up bursts. Sometimes if they have protection, you can kill them and all that stuff. Also because there's not really other good trait here. All traits are shit, and this one is good. It's honestly not as good as it was in the past because boons have become way more common, and well, it's not. Maybe if this were in 2 boons, it would be awesome. But, and then your power block, which is basically the Wet Dream when you're running Gravity Well, allows you to get a lot of damage in, and there you go. You know what? Everyone knows how the Shadow build is, right? Like, you take Phantasmal Fury instead of Decoy, because Decoy breaks your heal animation and you just die. Blind Dissipation, because Blind is OP. And then Deceptive Evasion, which is like the archetype of Shatter. And then finally you go Chrono Monster. You take Time Catches Up, which allows you to like get some pretty sweet bursts every now and then. Like, let's say you have a clone here and the enemy is there. You need the Mind Wreck to chase him down. This is going to help you more than this will, and this will. So, and then you have improved alacrity, allows you to do more shattery stuff more often, and seize the moment, which helps you burst. Bam, that's Shatter. So now that we've talked about this entire gameplay plan, why do you run any rune but Scholar? Consider the fact that you're not going to take any fair fights. Like, let's say that we take a rune that's quotes better. Let's just take a random. Wait, Ogre. Wait, why does Ogre not exist? Wait, was it removed? It was removed. I remember that. Fuck. All right. Alright, let me take a random power rune that's actually good. Let's just take Vampirism. Now, Vampirism might be a better rune than Scholar. Let's just say that it is. The problem with Vampirism is that you're still losing fights. Take a Shadow Mesmer plus any other class and put them versus Revenant in the same class, and the Revenant plus same class are going to have the advantage. So you gain nothing from actually playing the Shatter. So in that regard, if you have better stats in general, because you have this, does it matter? In the long run, it doesn't. Because your entire gameplay plan is that you're going to kill them before they get the fair fight. If they get the fair fight, you fucked up, you disengage, you go elsewhere. So with that in mind, Scholar helps you in that purpose more than anything else. And that's why you don't run strength runes, that's why you run X or Y, because this helps you open, this helps you +1, and that's more important than anything else. The reason you run Greatsword is simply because it has the best burst. Usually, in the past, people played Greatsword because it also gave the most damage over time. Like, if you look at this, like, this was considered good damage in the past. This damage is laughable at this point, because a Scrapper literally just kills you with retaliation after spamming on them. But Greatsword does have a good burst setup. You have the Blink into Mirror Blade, into Daze, into Shatter, so obviously not the most revolutionizing combo, but there it is. And you don't have any more, like, quick combo for a lot of burst on any other set, and that's why you're going to play Greatsword. Now, all you plebs are asking, what about Shield? Could you play Shield instead of Torch? Well, Torch actually has a lot of really good fighting potential. Torch is, in general, you can consider it better than... Shield is better than Torch in a lot of ways. Like, you look at the skill, summon a shitty Phantasm that shouldn't even exist, and then, yeah, stealth for 3 seconds for 30-second cooldown. Like, both these are pretty meh, honestly. And you look at Shield, you know, it has, like, Tides of Time, basically swag out like a fucking transvestite. Like, this is what that skill is. It's an incredible stun. It's a setup for Greatsword burst. It's just amazing. Like, if you're going to a dual server, you might as well pick this, because this is amazing. The block is obviously fucking incredible, plus a better Phantasm, so... The Shield is just better. However, it goes back to the point that I mentioned previously. If you have a Revenant plus a Ellie, Revenant plus Bunker Mesmer, let's just give that setup, and then you take a Shadow Mesmer plus a Bunker Mesmer, the Revenant still wins. And I say Revenant, but you can take Dragon Hunter, you can take just about every single meta DPS orientation class, and they will always do better anyway, almost all the time. And because of that, the Shadow Mesmer doesn't have a spot. Even in its most useful combat terms, it's still weaker than the other classes. So in that case, you go back to the same logic as before. We're not here to fight. We're gonna out-roam them. So like, you're in this position, you're in a 2v2, let's say this heavy golem is my buddy, there's 2 other golems right here, there's a light and a medium one. Now, this one, look at that shit, it's fucking strong. So I stealth, I port away, and I go somewhere else. And during this time, they're 1v2 versus our heavy golem, which... pretty swag. It's actually, let's assume that's a bunker. So right now they're actually attacking the heavy golem, and I have 2 options here. Either they give up on 2v1ing him, or I portal him out when they're committed to 2v1ing, and they gain nothing of that. And as another example, let's say that I have this ally here. Give me a second. Hubli! Hubli, come, quick. Hubli, quick, come. Hubli. Alright, so if you have a better teammate than this fucking Hubli, he might actually react. Hubli! Hubli, wrong way! Oh my god. Hubli, get your fucking ass over here. Alright, good. Alright. Hubli, my portal. And there we go! So what just happened here was that this heavy golem was 1v2. Now he managed to tank 1v2. And we portal him out, and instead we portal this in. So theoretically, let's say that this heavy golem actually escaped 1v2. And there's one guy capping the node here. So I ported in with a DPSer. And we're 1v2ing the medium goal and capping the point, and because Hubli is fucking incredible at this game, Hubli plus Shadow Mesmer is really good. Something to note about Shadow Mesmer is that it's still very good in a +1 situation. A +1 situation is when you're 2v1ing someone. So that's essentially the theory behind all your weapons. You play Torch because of that, you play Scholar because of that, you play Marauder Amulet because of that. Any other amulet, you might even be better with the other amulet overall. Like a Soldier Mesmer, just giving a random example, don't even think it's true, but let's just say it. A Soldier Mesmer might be better than a Marauder Mesmer, just fighting each other 1v1 with the same setup, but the Marauder Mesmer that fills the purpose, and that's why you play this setup. All right. So looking at the utilities, obviously Portal helps you do with that lots of relocation and shit. In the past, I actually recommended that you could take Null Field or whatever. Honestly, at this point, I don't think so, because like Shadow Mesmer used to have an infinitely better scenario in the metagame where they could actually like take a lot of fights and such. It has much less so now. You really need to make Portal plays. Like, just learn to Portal if you're gonna play Shadow Mesmer. Like, it's also a really good boon. Like, even in solo queue, you can get a lot of Portals. Granted, you can have that drunkard Ellie that I had in my game who just randomly fucking lost us the game by doing the worst Portal plays ever. But that's the same Ellie that pushes Lord when there's two people pushing Waterfall. Like, there's not much you can do about that. Like, he's sniffing glue. You're gonna lose no matter what utility you take. Blink, obviously, for the same reason, and Decor for the same reason. You don't need combat prowess, people. You don't need combat prowess. You need to one-shot people, and you need to relocate yourself. So, and then we have Gravity Well. Now, Gravity Well is my bae. Gravity Well is the sexiest fucking thing ever. Like, oh, hold up, let me see here. With the same logic and +1ing, why Marauder over Berserker? Because Berserker is shit. Berserker is not just like, you know, there's a limit. Like, you can go with the logic of building yourself around this role, and then they're just sniffing glue, you know? Then it's like, I need damage. I'm gonna take harmonious mantras and add mantras for damage. Like, at some point, you gotta calm the fuck down and take something that's relatively close to useful. So that's why. Berserker is just shit. You'll die to retaliation before you get a kill anyway. And that's why you're playing Marauder Amulet. It's just, it's a better amulet and serves the same purpose, and you don't gain enough. You don't gain enough of the trade-off, you know? Now, where was I? Oh, Gravity Well, my bae, my liver, my bibbe. Alright, so, I mean, Gravity Well is it's what basically makes you be able to play Mesmer in most metagames. You have a lot of matchups where Mo is really awkward. Mo is generally pretty awkward in solo queue because people don't respond to it properly. There's no longer thieves in the metagame, for instance, that can follow up properly. There's not dragon hunters in the metagame that can help you follow up. Like, you don't have as much power damage that can just burst a Mo out with a port and all that stuff. And naturally, Conduits can do well, but, you know. Gravity Well serves a similar purpose, and it's really useful. You just wombo combo them, you just go... And it's very important that you tell your mother to get the camera 99% of the time you're doing this burst, because you will need it. There's so many swag kills you're going to get with this skill that it's beautiful. Alright, so that's Shatter. That's Shatter Mesmer. We just discussed the build. Now let's discuss some other things. Well, honestly, is there anything else? Oh yeah, I can go through search real quick. Energy on Torch, because like while you're gonna die all the time, you can at least have some sensibility, right? And then you have Generosity, because, well, you don't want to die. Like, it's actually pretty useful. A Revenant ports on you, puts 9 Confusion, you Blood Frenzy, and it's gone, you know? It'll save you a lot, it'll do a lot of pressure. So there we go. There we go. Now let's go through the logic of Shadow Mesmer. I'm gonna go through some gameplay. I didn't really go through this video. It might not be the optimal video. I might actually fuck up. That's funny, me fucking up. Alright, I might theoretically do some misplays on purpose to like demonstrate you guys how fucking up is and all that shit. So we're gonna go through this. This is from today, actually. You know, 48 subs, and we've got 50 now. So I mean, this is a long time ago. You know, this is when I had 48 subs. This was when I was a small-time streamer. Like right now, I basically exceed Forsen, right? I mean, let's take a look at the comp, right? So when you're a Shadow Mesmer, I explained a little bit about this, but basically, Shadow Mesmer loves Necromancers. Like, Necromancer is fucking adorable for you. You Gravity Well them, and they die, you know? It's fucking beautiful. Druids are actually quite fine, as long as they're not playing Signal of Stone. If they're playing Signal of Stone, be sure to leave them an angry voice message or something, because that's just lame. Basically, you have a position where you can Gravity Well these classes, and just kill them instantly. You're gonna see that probably happen this game, because it happens in 99% of the games. And if we look at our team, we have a Revenant. This is a great +1 for us, and we have a Necromancer. This is a great +1 for us. These other two classes aren't ideal. However, if we're +1ing an Ellie fighting a Necro or an Ellie fighting a Druid, you can still one-shot them with Gravity Well. Like, it's still fine. Hopefully this guy fucking reconnects, so I gotta change this up. So the game starts. I don't even remember how I fucking start, but let's talk about openings first. So I do a lot of fucking pushing far. Like, it's kind of what people are used to at this point, but I would say that pushing far is one of the worst ideas you can do in Shadow Mesmer. What you basically want to do on Shadow Mesmer is you want to go middle most of the time. And the reason you want to go middle is because it gives you more options. If you're middle, you can go close. If you're middle, you can go far. You can go wherever you want. You can stay middle if you're middle. You know, it's middle. And the reason why that's really good is because Shatter has so many fucking bad matchups that it's just fucking tragic, you know? Like, and you just look at the minimap, you go where you're needed. You don't have to take any fucking 1v1. That's not your job. You don't have to take 2v2. That's not your job. It's your teammates' jobs to realize that you're a Shadow Mesmer on that area, right? So, for example, let's say that me and Texby goes middle, and we're facing Revenant and Ellie. If this happens, I put a portal in middle, I look at the map, I take a look at where the Necro is. Let's say, actually, a Druid is pushing our close point. That's perfect. I'll +1 the Druid and I'll kill him, and then I can portal us back to middle, I can portal out whoever's on middle, and you basically play for momentum all across the map. So, of course, you can go far, leave a portal there and leave, but in my opinion, it's pretty slow. Like, it's not going to carry in solo queue, because, for example, I'll go back to that. You want to carry solo queue, right? And if you go far, put a portal on far, and then a guy stands there, and you go middle. And the guy follows you middle. You portal far and decap this. The guy follows you, and you push into a 1v1. You're fighting a 1v1 now as a Shadow Mesmer, which you generally don't want to. And your teammates are fighting 4v4. And you have no carry potential, you're not fulfilling your role. Literally all you did is just decap. And there's so many ways you could have decapped, you know. You could have been a scrapper fucking stealthing there. You could have done so many ways that this is simply not worth it. In solo queue, in team queue, it can be worth it because you can like port an LE and you can coordinate that shit. For some reason, people just really never coordinate that ever. So right now, we see me capping close. I generally don't like doing this, but because there was a Druid pushing and the Necromancer coming in, it's actually fine. The ideal position is normally the other way around. Let's say that I'm standing right here, I'm going towards middle, and I see that our Druid is pushing close and the Necromancer is capping this point. This actually works out better here because the Druid decides to push into versus a Necromancer and a Mesmer, which is bad, he's just gonna die. But let's say the reverse situation was, I would just leave a portal middle and +1 this, kill this instantly, and then we got momentum and we can outnumber middle. And I think I even typed to him to come to me. So the Necromancer actually got a really good open on him, and I decided to like man up and follow up. So you don't need to worry about caps. Like as a Shadow Mesmer, if you cap points, it's like it doesn't matter. If any class pushes into you, you get decapped anyway. So you might as well just focus on killing. Killing is more important than anything else. So right now we got this one shot on this guy. Didn't even need to use continuous split, which is a good start. And I push into middle. And I'm gonna try to like go into some of the slower stuff. Like for example, I don't know, but I can go in there. I just immobilize the guy. I'm going to try to like break this down as much as possible. But if you look at the position right now, there's going to be a Druid respawning. There's a Necromancer going here. There's two ways we can get a point advantage in this situation. The ridiculous one, but still not completely horrible actually. The Necromancer can go Chieftain. I know what you guys are just like, what the fuck? And yes, it's kind of what the fuck. But the thing is, Necromancer goes Chieftain, Druid respawns, and he goes back into our close point, almost guaranteed. Necromancer will keep Chieftain before that. I leave a portal middle and I +1. Even if we over time would lose middle in this situation, we still have a lot of points ahead. And then we just make another portal play, we make another portal play, and we just keep going that way. Of course, now we're just bopping then. And Necromancer decides to do the least useful thing by, I don't know, scouting hench. So portals on middle is always the best place to have a portal. And the reason why you always want a portal in middle is because a portal in middle, it's the shizzle. Like, a portal in middle is beautiful. It leaves... You can portal anywhere with a portal in middle. If you want to go to the skies, you can do that. You know why? Because you have a portal in middle. Now, right now, I'm just ganking a bunch of plebs, you know, like, there hasn't really been much gameplay to it. Notice what I'm doing here, though. Okay. Notice what I'm doing here, though. I didn't push into far. Pushing far here is gonna set me up for a 2v2. If there's anyone far, which there's gonna be, then there's going to be a guy respawning as well, and I'm just going to be in a fair fight on far. You don't want to be in fair fights, because as a Shadow Mesmer, you don't fight fair, you know? Like, let's say someone fucking smacks your lady, right? Like, he smacks your lady, you smack him with a glove, and you challenge him to a fucking duel, right? And then he's right there, and you have this old Western face-off, you know? The way it's supposed to be. And then both of you turn your backs and you start walking, you know, because you're going to shoot each other, you know. So you're walking and you're like, and you just have a sniper on some building just shooting him. That's basically how you play as a Shadow Mesmer. You have fucking pink skills. Stop trying to think you take fair fights. So right now we have our Necromancer 1v1 in the Druid. They're having a fair fight right now. Like, the better player is going to win. It's fucking beautiful. It's magnificent. And it's what Guild Wars is supposed to be. And then we just come in and ruin the fucking show by just bopping him. Quickness stomp, not much else to say. Actually, I didn't even quickness stomp that. I should have done another shatter. Random note. Well, it doesn't really matter in this position. Actually, I've conserved cooldowns because I'm fucking flawless. But random note. If you, as a mesmer, you have a quickness, you start a stomp. Make sure that you have quickness all throughout the stomp. Otherwise, you won't get the quickness stomp off. So, for example, if you absolutely needed a quickness stomp there, I should have done Cry of Frustration mid stomp. Just random notes. And right now we have this wonderful position where they're just lemming-thing in. Like, they're just going in one by one and dying. And we have incredible rotation from our Elementalist here, who's just standing here. I mean, right now he's defending middle really well from Ghosts. Now, right now he actually started defending it, but let's be fair, he's actually been standing here for like an hour. So we went middle. Okay, that's fine. So we have a guy who went middle. There's a guy bleeding a guy here. So guy bleeding guy here, 2 guys on middle, because I portaled this guy here, right? I think so. Or is it just 2v1? Ah, yeah, it's 2v2. Yeah, it's 2v2. In that case, it's actually fine, because these guys are going to 2v2 this, and I got 2v1 far before they respawn. And it's actually a good position still, right? Levin tries to follow this, and this gives us another good position. We 2v1 the Necromancer outside the point. Again, like, play like a lady. I haven't fought a single fair fight this entire game, because Shadow Mesmers don't do that. Like, that's not our thing, you know? We play like men. We run, and we kill things behind them. So, let's look at this position again. Because, let's see if, like, healing here is fine. I should have healed here. I guess it's fine if... let's take a look. This is a really good... I juked him out there. He was, like, if I moved the normal pattern... I didn't say I juked him out since I fooled him. But rather, if I moved in a standard pattern, I would have gotten hit by that. But instead, I managed to catch him from behind. Let's see how I follow up with the burst. Now, you want to daze him right here and just get damage. Hilariously enough, the mind stab missed because I hit this instead. Knocked him through the wall. He's going to die. And he's dead. We kill things from behind to him. Straight grill. And now our pleb lost 1v1. Unforgivable, but whatever. So, theoretically, if this Necromancer wasn't actually a little slug, he would actually been able to fight this for longer. He would have fought this for, let's say 30 seconds longer. This would have allowed me to be able to push close, outnumber this, and kill this. Again, I could push far, but it doesn't lead anywhere. I push far and I go into an equal fight, and that's not what you do, right? I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I need to banker this in, because this is how Mesmer is played, right? You go to spots where you outnumber. So I go close and I outnumber the Druid and I kill him with the Necromancer. They're going to have a Necromancer respawning, but we just keep picking people off. Ever since the start of this game, we've been picking people off. Of course, this slug face of a Necromancer just died here. Also, I take unnecessary amounts of time to move here. Like, I should have been fine, just I stealth and I walk the entire path, and I remember this. I go to the Ellie to have him heal me. Look at this heal. Best healer. Beautiful. And the Ellie finally pushes off mid. This is actually a bad position, because the Revenant could have pushed into me. And now they have... I should have... Yeah, okay, so I actually mentioned this mid-game. Rather, and I'll just outnumber far. Or I'll equal number far. Where should I push? Should I push close anyway? Maybe I should have pushed close. And I'm pretty sure I should have pushed close. Because far had been a fight for this long, and if I push close, we're going to outnumber that. I was closer to outnumbering that. If I outnumber close, even if they get a decap middle, we can catch up in points with the boss and then start momentuming. And even because we get stomped first here, they're going to stomp after, meaning that our teammates are going to respawn first, and we have an advantage. This is where the neck goes, though. Text be missed. Oh, miss. Fuck you, text! Okay, you're good. I remember that. Alright, yeah, so you can save plebs, you know, keep that in mind. So this fight here, I'm actually taking the equal fight here, and obviously, like, you can take a fucking fight, especially if you get a good opener like a Gravity Well. You wanna open with Gravity Well right away, especially because you have Scholar Runes, right? So you want as much damage from that as possible. I should have interrupted that. If I interrupted that Sword 3, he would have been died instantly, but whatever. But basically, opening with Gravity Well is really good. Especially if you're entering a fight late, you know. Obviously, at the very start of a team fight, if it's starting and you're in it for some reason, you don't want to Gravity Well right away because they just sunbreak and get out of it. But if there's been a team fight for a while, you can actually, like, you just join up on it later and you just smack him. Be very careful when you're trying to daze a heal. I tried to daze the NG heal there and didn't make it quite in time, but I still managed to get him. No scope, swag. So, what's the position? There's going to be respawns here. It's going to be a 2v2. Now, what do? You obviously help him by leaving him in a beautiful manner. So the idea right here is I want to snowball the map as much as possible. I +1 hench, and I kill it, and then I portal us towards middle and far, and we just +1. If they would get some decap, like one guy going here, it doesn't matter. If they 2v1 this, it doesn't really matter. What's important is that we're going to be way ahead of momentum if I manage to save this position. I believe that this slug of a necromancer will manage to fuck this up, though. Let me see. Oh yeah, I remember this. Maybe I could have done something better here, so I'm just going to quietly analyze for myself. I could have killed him there with Mind Stab. I healed there because I assumed I would take more damage, but I didn't. Also, you want to be as high health or scholar as possible, so I could have killed this guy. Oh yeah, I remember this. The reason I didn't down him right away was because my ally was down and I wanted him to die first. I commented on that. But because we weren't able to finish it off, because this slug died, it's time to leave. It's time to go elsewhere. It's time to find new journeys in life. And you know, yeah, your plebs died, but do you care though? Do you really care though? Why are you playing with such a small minimap? I don't know, dude. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Whenever I play in a tournament, I make it max size, for what it's worth. Oh yeah, I remember this. This was Jukesies. I make them push towards middle by portaling to far, and then I go back to pick up the necromancer. Like, there's two situations you love as a Shadow Mesmer. One is outnumbered, and two is picking off necros. Especially if they're Levin. Like, Levin or necro is some of the most delicious things I've ever seen. It's like, everything about it is just yummy. If you see Levin or necro, like, fucking enjoy. Just pick him off all game, you know? Like, he won't do anything. He won't stop you. He'll just let you kill him. He embraces that shit. Like, I don't know. He's a little maso, I guess. I remember being a little confused by this position. I remember going down here. Let me see here. So, the camera got really bad here. Yeah, the camera got bad and I got killed by Revenant while the camera fucking blocked it, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I'm right. So you should just gravity well on the body right here, the second anyone approaches. Oh, no, I was fucking... I scratched my mouth, and as I did that, the fucking dog jumped me. Alright, that's not my fault. That's Arena's fault for making dogs OP. You know, you gotta be able to scratch your shin, you know? Like, scratching shin is meta. If you can't do that, it's just... I should distort it there. Oh, I tried to distort. Alright, it's fine. So I will go down there, but because I got double gravity well on the body, you should avoid standing in places where you can't see shit, by the way. Just random notes. Immobilize there is good. Alright, don't immobilize then. I guess I was afraid of being in battle. But this is a fine fight to be in, right? Like, this is a fight where you're getting stomps left and right. So, Mesmer's cleaning up is perfectly fine. Just stay in the fight, make sure it's clean, and then you go elsewhere. Like, this fight is won. I can already start moving. I guess I don't trust my plebs, but I can still start moving. I can move. Wait, why am I attacking the dog? Alright, that dog is fucking annoying. I got the dog. Esports. I don't know, maybe I was doing some commentary or something. Dude, that dog was fucking annoying though. It fucking called me a bitch, I remember that. So, quickness stomp, cleaning up. I mean, right now, it's just swagging, you know. And we're gonna lose far, and yeah, I remember this. So, this was bad because my plebs didn't have any sense, so they just walked middle. But killing boss here is a good opportunity. You just gotta respawn from far, so you don't need to worry about close at all. So once you respawn close, you just rush middle with this pleb, right? And because of this position, everyone else can go middle, and you're not gonna have to worry about close because it's gonna respawn there, which means your close is covered. All of your allocations go to middle, and because they all go to middle, you don't actually have to worry about outnumbering because they just got stomped as well, you know? So both sides got stomped, they're gonna go middle, and we're gonna go middle. This means that we have extra time. And because we have extra time, we can kill boss. Because there's not gonna be a concluded fight here anyway, simply because they're going this. Now, because my pleb ally didn't help me, it actually did become a concluded fight. But again, that's the pleb's fault. Like, you can't trust the plebs, you know? Sometimes you gotta make calls, and sometimes your plebs will take advantage and hurt you. They will hurt your feelings. They will hurt you. Also, here, watch Levin be the least fun person on Earth, okay? Watch Levin be the least fun person on Earth. This is why Levin has never gotten laid in his life. Like, whenever you picture Levin, can you ever picture him in a threesome? No. And the reason why is just because of this moment. Watch this shit. I wanted to Matrix this shit. Watch this Matrix. Watch. Jump Mirror Blade into fucking Swagzilla, you know? That would have been beautiful. If this hits, and look at him. What a nerd. Like, everything about him is just lame. I don't know. Like, sometimes I wonder that what makes Levin happy in life? Cause like, it sure as fuck is in cool things, you know. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you a little bit of theory on Revenant versus Mesmer. Actually, a completely winnable matchup. If you're playing Gravity Well. If you're playing Gravity Well, this is the way matchup works, right? You try to pressure him, you make sure to not tank stupid stuff. Good call. Now, because this point is his, I can actually take my time, just go high ground and punish him. And the idea is basically, you force them off Shiro, you make them go Malix, and when they go Malix, you got Gravity Well, and you just kill them, you know? So right now, I'll just try to stun into Gravity Well, because there we go. Look, that's a free kill. Alright, if I hit Gravity Well, let's try this again. There we go, now he's dead. And they don't really have any counterplay to that. Like, once you hit Gravity Well, it's just dead. Something important to note, versus a good play that would never have been as easy, of course, you know? But that's the theory behind the matchup, and you can win if you do it that way. What you need to remember is that you want to distort as you're CCing. Like, distort CC means that you won't get taunted. If you get taunted, you die. So it's very important to remember that. Just random note. So let me see me versus Levin here. So, Levin, again, he dodges. Like, can you imagine this guy? Can you imagine this? Does anything make this guy happy? So because there's a respawner, I'm playing it safe and I'm just staying around here. I remember this position. So I'm still 1v2 right now. Basically, as a mesmer, if you take damage, you die. Right, 99%. Like, I'm dead now if I don't portal. Like, you had to portal instantly. That heal was bad though. I should have waited out the poison. But I don't know. Let's take a look at this position. I remember this. I remember this game-winning condition. Alright, so this is why I'm the best mesmer in the game, okay? Let me just explain why I'm the greatest mesmer of this game, right? Watch this position. Watch. Watch. Do you see this position? Watch. Watch. Now, if you guys were here, Svarne would not be killed, right? But watch this. Watch this. Perfectly timed #1. Killing Svarne with #1. Too good. And that's mesmer, right? Like you dodge matchups. Like you see it all the time on stream, but this is it explained, right? Like you dodge matchups all the time. You never want to fight a fair matchup. Like if you watched me and Cinda play, we had nothing but losing matchups all across the map. So we just outnumbered. We literally abandoned points. Speaking of Cinda, yo, Q. All right, let's see if we can get Cinda to play with us. And that's mesmer in general, and I hope that leads to your satisfaction. We're going to need a new sub goal in the building. I'm not sure what that sub goal is going to be. We're just going to add another 5 to the count. Let me see here. Let me see here. What do you guys want me to explain? Alright, plebs. I'll be right back real quick. Real quick. Gotta chat something. I'll be back in a second. Commercial.